Welcome to the Swedish Transformers podcast that today is in English because we have a guest. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, my name is EJ Su. I'm the artist on IDW when they relaunched the Transformer comics. I was the artist on the Transformer, um, on Infiltration, the first series of the Ashen series. I started drawing comic book when in around year 2000. Created Tech Jacket with Robert Kurtman. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so you made the tech jacket. I checked it in just a little bit before the podcast here. You also went to the industrial design full time with phone cases and whatnot.
Yeah, that was after Transformers.
Yeah. Do you own a lot of phone cases now after that job?
Well, I don't own the retail version of it, but I have tons of like one of those prototypes.
Yeah.
I was the one designed it, so a lot of stuff had to go through me to get approved. I get tons of different versions of prototypes and what have you.
Yeah.
But I don't have them anymore. It's been a while.
Oh, yeah. So you're not into the industrial design anymore, or what's your gig today?
Well, I'm still into industrial design. I think designing something new is always in my blood, but working in a corporate environment is not for me. There's a lot of what you call it, office politics that I'm not into. A lot of time I just want to get things done, but other people have other ideas, and it gets tiring. And when I'm working for one company, they're strictly doing one thing and one thing only. Design phone cases or something similar to that. After a while, it gets boring. But I had a lot of fun on initially when I was working there full time. I come up with new things and new ideas, and I actually got a few utility pattern under my belt during that time. So it was fun, and I like to come up with different mechanic to work with things, and I like that. And I think it's always in my blood. It's not that I'm not into it anymore. It's just that it drawing, it creative is always the things for me. When I was kid and growing up, that's the thing I want to do. I like to venture into other areas, but I know I will always come back to drawing.
Yeah. What did you use to draw when you were a kid?
A lot of robots.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
And
Was
since
it like was it like Voltron, or I don't know how old you are or when you were a kid, but
well, I'm 50 right now.
Yeah, 50, yeah.
So I grew up in the 70s and 80s,
Yeah.
and in Taiwan. I grew up in Taiwan, so there's a lot of Japanese influence. Things like the Voltron and Gundam, macros, and all that kind of stuff. I'm Great Mazinger, all those super robots.
That's
That's pretty cool. It's pretty close to Transformers too. I can recall one I watched as a kid that's from from Asia that's kind of like a Transformer. It's called Ball Attack.
Oh, okay.
So that you should look into, Linda.
I will. Yeah, to go a little bit further here, our Transformers fans are most used to your Transformers hardcovers and the other stuff that you worked on, like let's see, All Hail Megatron, Spotlight Jazz and Prowl, and other Transformers Prime. Transformers Prime. Sorry, we just talked about Transformers Prime in the previous podcast. Not Transformers Prime, I think, but some other gold nuggets. Let's see, is there anything I missed?
Nice,
sorry.
the Escalation, Devastation, and...
Yeah, exactly. Sorry about that. I don't have all of that in my head. So the Wikipedia also says that you do your own sound effects. What's that all about?
Well, you know those sound effects like bang, wang, you know.
The comic book sound effects.
We thought it was you doing the sound effects or something.
No, I don't go. I draw.
Oh, maybe when you're drawing, you do a bam.
Well, yeah, you know, I do it once or twice, maybe.
Do you have a favorite sound effect you use?
I don't know. I think I do a lot of like the transforming sound, like you know, things like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's go to the official Transformers questions. Gustav, would you like to take these questions for our guests?
I can try.
Yeah.
My English isn't that good as Linda's, but I will try. First things first. Are you a Decepticon or are you an Autobot fan?
That's a interesting question. If I were a Transformer, I would probably somewhere in between. Play both sides, like a freelancer.
Mercenary. Do you have a favorite Transformer?
I think when I was a kid, I really liked the evil characters such as Megatron. You know, it usually those evil characters, they kind of they I think they have more, what would you say, more attraction for a kid. That their personality stands out a little more compared to the good guys. I also like Cyclonus, and what's the other guy's name? Right next to Galvatron.
Scorch, maybe?
Oh, yeah. Scorch. You know, they both seems like interesting character. They're closest thing to a zombie in Transformer back in the day. So I like them.
Yeah, I too tend to favorize the Decepticon units. They look cooler.
Yeah.
Me and Linda used to have really fun talking about Megatron's trigger in the G1 bot. It looks so funny.
This design back then was quite something.
Do you have a favorite Transformer to draw?
Probably Optimus Prime.
Yeah, many new designs I've seen from you in the past years are of Optimus.
Any what?
The new designs, I've seen many new drawings from you with Optimus. So you tend to draw him a lot, I guess.
Yeah, I guess that's the thing that I fall back on. You know, because I'm familiar with the character. him and Megatron is the most recognizable character. And Optimus Prime, there's some majestic about Optimus Prime. So, I tend to draw him a lot. I mean, if you think of Transformers, you think of Optimus Prime. It's just the first thing that came to me,
Yeah.
Yes.
I agree with everything.
Absolutely. You a couple of years ago now, you sent us some posters of Optimus Prime for a charity auction in Retcon 2019.
Oh, yeah.
And they were a big success. They draw in like $500, I think, to the Heart and Lung Foundation.
Oh, nice.
It was really thank you for that. It was great.
You're welcome.
That was much appreciated. Yeah, I remember that one. I actually didn't buy any of those posters, but I bought 2 more art pieces from other artists. But now I kind of regret that I didn't buy anything.
I think it was Simon Furman and Jack Lawrence on that commission.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I have to ask for a commission from you someday.
Okay, you know where to find me.
You had an email address, I heard.
EJSU 28 at gmail.com.
Yeah.
But you're also on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook.
Correct.
Yeah. What's your relation to the Transformers franchise? When did you start?
That goes back to when I was a kid. I'm really into this Japanese property called Microman. And in Taiwan, there's like a comic book store that you can go rent comics and read it, right? So I'm really into this Microman. So every week, almost every day, I would just go down to the store and read Microman comics. And Microman toy was a big thing in Taiwan, and it's very rare to find. So whenever I heard someone say that certain toy store has imported Microman toys, I would just ride my bike across town to go look at the toy. Just look at the toy because I can't afford it, right? So I'm kind of familiar with a lot of characters from the Microman. And when I came to America, one day I look at, one day Transformer cartoon was on the TV. When I saw it, I was like, wait a minute, these characters look very familiar. I'm like, but it's not Microman, but they're giant robots. So, that's where I got started and started looking into their relationship and the toy line being bought by Hasbro, the Diaclone series of the toys, and they made it into Transformers, and I was like, oh man, this is for me, and I'm looking at, even though it's not Microman, but it's the same thing. They transform into various household objects. And how I got started.
Have you bought any of these Micromans when you can afford it?
I did have a couple of them. They're very rare to find. It's unfortunate that I move around a lot. When I moved to US and even I was in US, I was moving around a lot, and a lot of my old toys are gone. And I wish I kept better care of them, but I was a kid. I couldn't. Yeah, I couldn't do much about it.
Yeah, that is usually the fate of toys and stuff like that. That when you find these Transformers toys in a magical place somewhere in a hidden store. You find them mostly disassembled and they're missing parts and stuff like that. But still, like, as a child, you didn't know that these toys would be so valuable back. Like, I know we traded the Pokemon cards too back in the time, and we were like having just so much of them, and then you just threw them away. Today, it's almost breaks my heart that I don't have any of those left.
I had a bad habit with Transformers. I wanted to play with them a little bit too hard, so I put firecrackers and stuff on them, and that didn't go well.
Oh no, that's evil.
Yeah, I hate it myself for it now.
Gustav.
Sorry. How did you come to start working on the Transformers then?
Before Dreamwave, before they got the license, me and a different company called MV Creations, they were thinking about getting the Transformer license for comics. And I was attached as an artist, and Robert Kerman was attached as a writer. So we're going after the license before Dreamwave. But eventually that license went to Dreamwave, as we all know it. But Hasbro like our stuff. So they send us a lot of toy drawing, toy guides that I get to work on. And and the Transformer encyclopedia, all kind of stuff that I used to work on Transformers before IDW. And I believe Chris Ryle, editor-in-chief from IDW at the time, he saw some of my work. So, after Dreamwave folded, one day I just got an email from Chris Ryle saying, "Hey, you want to work on Transformer? I saw some of your Transformer stuff." And I was like, "Whoa, wait a minute." It wasn't in the news yet. Nobody knew IDW got the license. It's like, wow, this is like a few years too late for me, but I'm gladly accepting it. And it's something I want to do, and the rest is history.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Let's see. Have you had any favorite comic to work on? Any favorite story or any special memory?
I think the first Infiltration was a big thing for me. First few issues, like how Simon Furman was crafting a story of espionage and robot in disguise. That aspect of it is really intriguing for me. And when I was reading some of the script back then, there was a lot of there were some car chase scenes, and I told Simon that after I reading the car chasing, my palm was sweating, and I got so excited. It's just something you haven't seen in Transformer comics before. It was a pretty fun memory for me. I think the first couple issues of Infiltration was it.
Beautiful.
Then you mentioned Simon Furman, and that brings me to another question. Is there a special writer or story you like to draw more than others?
Are we talking about Transformer wise or just?
Oh, if you both, feel free.
I think I would like to work on a lot of my childhood properties, such as like the Godzilla and Ultraman, which I get to do cover for Marvel right now.
Yeah.
You know, those are the things that I grew up with, and it's something that I really passionate about. And Transformer was one of them, but I really worked on that. A lot of times, I like to expand my area, so I work on as many of what I grew up with, as many of them as possible. So yeah, I mean, there's just so many. I can't name them all. Like I wish I have a chance to work on Gundam. It's one of those things that I grew up with. Great Messenger is another one. But I don't think I'll ever get a chance to do that. But hopefully, just keeping my fingers crossed when the opportunity arises.
Before I leave it to Linda, illustration-wise, do you have anything that really stands out you think you have done, or maybe something you regret, your worst nightmare you have done?
Well, as an artist, you're always progressing as you work. Something I love today that I created, that I drew today, I may hate it tomorrow. So it's when we talk about Tech Jacket earlier, I look back on those issues. It's kind of cringy for me. Everything I work in the past it seems like very cringe-worthy. It's one of those things. It's good and the bad. It's good that I know that I'm improving over the years, and it's bad that it's kind of embarrassing. Looking back at those old stuff, it's kind of embarrassing.
Yeah.
But is there a certain cover you have done for a Transformers magazine you're most proud of?
I'm sorry, can you repeat that?
Yeah, is there a certain cover you have done for a Transformers magazine you're most proud of?
Cover?
Yeah.
I think the Infiltration wraparound cover, the 6-issue covers. I don't know if anyone has done that before with the whole miniseries, wrap from issue 1 to 6 and wrap it back to issue 1. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if anybody has done that before, but it's an idea that I had at the time, and I'm surprised that IDW allowed me to do that. Mm-hmm. So that stands out for me because I believe, or at least I'm one of the few people that has done that.
Yeah, that's really cool idea.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, now I'll leave some questions for Linda because she's a great artist in her own right. So I will leave the artist question to her.
Yeah, we didn't actually introduce ourselves to you, but I am also working as an artist, as my own business. I have a little bit of experience about art stuff, at least a little bit.
Mostly Baker's Miller Pink, Linda.
Mostly Baker's Miller Pink. It's a famous pink color that they use in jails to make the inmates more calm. back in the time. So
really?
it's a color that has a kind of an interesting history in mental stuff to make people calm.
We mentioned that a lot in the RC episode.
Yeah. Back in the time. Yeah. But yeah, let me start with my artist questions. And so yeah, what art school did you go to, and what's the trip to your industrial design and stuff like that?
I went to a school called Art Center in Pasadena. At the time, I was majoring in industrial design, and yeah, that's the school kind of pushed me very hard. Like there were times when uh, right before final week, people were like sleeping on 1 or 2 hours to get the projects done. So it was tough, but it pushed me to everybody's limit, push everybody to their limit, and it helps to grow, help you to grow as an artist.
So they pushed you in a good way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what I know from art school as well is that you don't get a lot of sleep, and sometimes you're like having this bed table where you're like, yeah, I had only 3 hours of sleep this night, and then there's someone that is like, I've been up for 3 days.
I'm so jealous. I can't draw to save my own life.
Don't worry, I'll save you. But yeah, I recognize that stuff with the art school. I know also that you do prefer traditional art, but you can also draw digital art. Depending on what you're working on, I guess. What do you prefer?
It's not that I prefer one over another. To any artist, it doesn't matter traditional or digital. You always have to put in the work. It doesn't really matter to an artist. I love traditional because of the touch of the texture of the paper. The the pen against the paper texture, or the tactile feel it's just unmatched. And seeing paints and stuff going over one another, it it it's soothing. It's therapeutic. But on the other hand, traditional, you have to prepare all these paper and paint, and you have to have a space to work. You have to mix paint, and you have to, and you can't work anywhere. You can't go to the park and paint unless you bring a big bag of art supplies. And a lot of art supplies are very expensive too, like the paints, like $5 a bottle, and use them up pretty quickly.
5 bottles for a bottle, that's still cheap.
Yeah, that's I always pick up the cheap one. And and sometimes they can go up to like $20 a bottle and things like that. It just gets very, very expensive.
Yeah, the pencils themselves are the pencils themselves are also very expensive, and depending on what kind of traditional art you do, there's the thing with mediums and fixative and stuff like that is taking also a lot of money. And I don't know, do you work with oil anything when it comes to
I try work with oil at one time, but I'm not really good at it, and I guess it just takes time to learn how to learn the property of oil and how to mix them and all that kind of stuff is takes a lot of experience. I haven't spent a lot of time on oil, and and oil they dry very slow. A few days you can paint something, a few days later they're still wet.
Yeah.
So in a way, I don't know how to handle oil. But I mean, like all things, it's just one of those things that you have to spend time on it and get to learn the property of the certain media. And it's not a time that I want to spend at this time. Maybe when I'm older, retire, and I got a lot of time on my hand, maybe I'll experiment with oil. But right now I just like to stick with acrylic that I'm more familiar with. Acrylic, color pencil, those things that I'm more familiar with. So, it's my go-to media.
Yeah, acrylics are nice. It's also a medium that dries quite fast, unless you mix it up with some mediums or stuff like that.
Right.
I also like to work in acrylics. Do you draw on canvas or on wood?
I most draw on illustration board.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, illustration board. That's like thick paper, right?
Yeah. And I haven't done a lot of canvas because they're also expensive. I'm a cheap master.
Yeah.
Economical, we say economical.
Yeah.
And going back to traditional versus digital. Now we're talking about digital is that all the oil paint that you can have in one location and you don't have to pay for it. You can, these days you could just, buy a tablet and just, especially now that I have kids, even though we can't go out at this moment, but, when we used to be able to go out to the park, I would just take my tablet with me and the kid could play in the park and I can, draw and do my work in the park.
Yeah.
You just can't do that with traditional media. That's why I like digital, but it's not same as traditional, but it's an alternative that it's give and take. You get the portability, and you don't have to prepare all these materials.
Yeah.
And you can walk everywhere.
Yeah, I've been also in situations where I have my set with acrylics and I'm somewhere out with my sketchbook and I have water and I'm just putting what is it called? Like this kind of thing, and you just fold it in and it's just dripping with water and it's making a mess out of everything in your bag. So it happens sometimes that, I try to sketch outside and do other things like that. Do you have a sketchbook, by the way, that you take out? Or is it just your drawing pad?
Before I was going digital a lot. Before that, I always carry a sketchbook with me. Everywhere I go, it goes with me.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I just carry my tablet.
That seems so simple. I love that idea. Maybe I should also get that in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's take the next question. I know that it's a long question when you talk about traditional and digital and what to prefer and stuff like that. It's a very interesting subject. But yeah, anyway, let's go further. What artists do you look up to? Do you have any favorite artists?
I'm gonna say Tezuka Osamu.
Mm.
He's the creator of Astro Boy.
Ah, yes.
Shiro Masamune,
Mm.
creator of Ghost in the Shell.
Mm.
I read their comics religiously.
Yeah.
Those are the people that I always look up to, but I always find someone new every day. It's so easy to discover new artists out there that you admire their work. Because of the internet, you can, it's if something exists, if someone exists, it's out there, and I'm discovering new artists every day that I admire, and I get to follow them and see their work and study their technique, things like that.
Yeah.
It's hard to say. There's just so many that I like.
Mm. Yeah, I guess it sometimes changes too, that you find a new artist and you have your favorite artist from year to year sometimes too, I guess. Yeah. Yeah, let's go further. How do you feel that your art has been evolving during your time with Transformers and other comics?
I always like to experiment with my style, and to me, if you're doing something every day over and over and over and over, it gets too boring.
Yeah.
Even though your technique may get a little better, but whenever I see an artist that I like, and I look at it and I go, whoa, I want to try to do that. It something may completely different from my style, and I would want to try to do something like that. And so I evolved, but I don't know if it's for better or for worse. It my style is always changing. I don't know how to describe my style back then. I don't know how to describe my style right now. It's constantly evolving. I always say that an artist, um, being an artist is like an uphill battle that will never end. It's something that I'm trying to push myself every day to be different and to improve, and hopefully I improve.
Yeah. I'm sure you will always improve. That's what art is always about. I was also wondering if there is any, how do I explain this? Is there anything in the art that you feel that you're not good at, or something that you think is really hard, like perspective or anatomy or posing, or light maybe?
I think anything that has to do with nature, I'm not where I want to be at the moment. Like rocks, mountain, water, fire. I always have trouble with those. It's not something solid that you could you could like put a perspective and make it work. Like robot, to me, robot is easy. They are boxes.
Yeah.
It's a good thing they live on Cybertron too.
Yeah.
But yeah, so anything man-made, they're easy to draw. Straight line, circle, boxes in perspective. Those I can handle. But when it comes to something constantly moving, like water, fire, something random like rocks and rock formation, mountain, clouds, smoke, anything of that nature, it's very difficult for me.
I thought also that the industrial design, I mean, I've been looking at your art and I'm just amazed all the time when I see Transformers artists in general, how good they are with perspective. It's my worst nightmare. I'm just trying to hide it somewhere in the shadow. It can be there, but I thought your industrial design and the school that you went to has it, or the industrial design, has it somehow like shaped how you draw Transformers also?
Well, definitely, because industrial design, what industrial design focuses on is how things work. Form follows function. Function is more important than looking good. I mean, looking good is also important, but functionality is the key number one of a good industrial design. So I always want to make sure Transformer, the way they transform from a vehicle to a robot, their proportion, their sizes are as accurate as possible. If they're gonna bend their elbow, would there room for the metal to allow the elbow to contract and expand? It's like you can have a robot that has no joint. Joints are very important to me because they make the robots function. I think based on functionality aspect, that's how I approach Transformers.
Yeah, I completely agree that it's very cool how you manage to do these robots, like even if they're card mode or bot mode, that the wheels and the details are not changing size really, and everything is kept together and having the same shape and stuff like that. It's amazing.
It really looks like it's fitting.
Yeah, it's like transforming a real toy to a car, and it's fitting perfectly.
Part of the goal of designing Transformer was I want to make sure what I designed could actually turn into a toy.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's one of the challenge I have, and so there's no exaggeration. Making sure every part is accurate and correct.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but you made Cyclonus to the IDW, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. The design on him, I saw some sketches that I think were from you, how you took inspiration from some sort of a mask. Would you like to talk about that design? What your thoughts were around Cyclonus?
The story in the story of it's about a Cyclonus was an ancient an ancient transformer that came to life.
Mm.
So in a way, I want something that looks older than all the other transformer out there at the moment. So, and the way the Cyclonus was designed originally, to me, it looks like a samurai.
Mm.
So I took inspiration of a Japanese mask called Omni.
Yeah.
It's a ghost mask, and a lot of time they took that mask and put it on a samurai too. They a lot of samurai masks got inspiration from that too.
Mm.
So, it, I try to infuse a lot of the Japanese samurai and Omni inspiration into Cyclonus design, because Omni is a ghost, and to me Cyclonus is a ghost.
Yeah.
So that's where the connection, at least for me, my inspiration came from.
Yeah.
Were there any inspiration from the Bludgeon character? He's also like a samurai dude.
Which one?
The Bludgeon character. Is there any inspiration from that one?
Right. I don't think wait, did I design that one?
No, I just wonder if you took some inspiration from that character when you did that Cyclonus.
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think it would be fitting. He also has the samurai helmet and all this stuff.
Yeah. I don't think that came across my mind at the time, but yeah, I can definitely see that right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
It
will
was an
have to
happy
do
accident.
this next time then. A mean Bludgeon.
Bludgeon versus Cyclonus. Yeah. Who is the best samurai? Who do you think? Bludgeon versus Cyclonus. Who do you think would win?
To me,
Huh?
I'm biased.
Yeah.
Cyclonus.
Of course.
Of course.
Gustav, what do you think?
No, I'm for the Metallicato user. I go Bludgeon.
Of course you do. Well, I'm a bias too, and I like the Cyclonus too. He's the cutest character I know in IDW.
No, that's because you love tailgates, Linda.
Yes, of course. It's my favorite couple. Yeah. Yeah, it is really my favorite characters in the IDW. Otherwise, of course, it's the Dinobots and the Optimus Prime when it comes to me. But yeah, I don't think I had so much more questions surrounding art, really.
We can have a little fun question before we go into the ending part of the episode.
Yeah.
After the pandemic is over, soon I hope, and you're at the party, how likely is it that you will start talking about Transformers or another comic at the party?
I don't go to party often.
But a social gathering with friends then.
If we're talking about like comic book friends, maybe, yeah. But people around me, they don't want to talk about Transformers.
Oh. Oh. You just have to force it in there. Be like, hey, it's Transformers.
I have tried it so many times at parties, and then there's this terrible silence, and the crickets are playing.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, like I mean, people doesn't even want to talk about my art around me.
Oh, we can talk about art all day.
I mean, the people I hang out with, they know me for so long. It's kind of weird to talk about. Hey, your art is so good, and how you do this, how you do that. It's just weird. These are the people I hang out with, mostly just people I pretty much grew up with. It's not a conversation that we would talk about. It's not that they don't like what I do, or or they don't care, but it's just something we don't really talk about.
I can agree too that sometimes when I go out with friends, I don't want to talk about art. It's like if I've been working 8 or 10 hours on a piece of work, the last thing I want to talk about on a party is art. It's like, leave me alone. Let's talk about booze instead. What's the best wine you can buy?
Yeah.
What do you prefer if you go out and drink? Are you like a beer person or a cider, or what's your gig?
Tea.
Tea. Yeah.
Green or black?
Black.
Yeah. Milk.
Coffee.
Yeah.
How do you take your coffee?
Black.
Yeah, but strong, or is it?
I like it strong.
Yeah. Because here in Sweden we do our coffee really strong.
Oh, really? I'm gonna try that someday.
Yeah.
Is there something you can recommend?
What do you say?
Is there a brand or a coffee bean that you can recommend?
It's hard. The most household in Sweden is called Suegas.
Or Gevalia.
Löfbergs Lila.
Yeah, that's a really Swedish. Yeah.
I like to try strong coffees. Yeah. Going to art school, it's one of those few that I kind of force myself into, because I gotta try to stay awake.
Write me your address and I will post some Swedish coffee to you.
Yeah.
Oh, no, don't. Just tell me the brand and I'll try to find it myself.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. We can do that.
No problem.
Yeah. But yeah, and last question maybe. The time flies when you have fun.
The ending of the podcast.
It's been really fun.
But it's some good questions left.
I mean, I'm at the end question. Should I take it?
We have the quotes and other stuff.
Okay. So my end question, we have a little bit of fun end question to roll it off. Any projects you're working on right now? Something that you can share? Or is it all secret?
I've been working with Skybound Entertainment on a original graphic novel for 2 years, I think. Yeah, 2 years straight. I just finished it a couple of months ago. And I can't really talk about it. I really want to, but I really can't. Yeah. And there's also something I'm gonna start working on in February with IDW, and
nice.
And I don't want to spoil it, and hopefully they will make the announcement soon.
Yeah, we're waiting for it. But yeah, it's a little teaser there.
Nice.
Yeah, not Transformers.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
No, but we're happy anyway.
We're always happy. As long as you're producing something for us, we're appreciating it.
Thank you for all your support.
Oh,
will we see any Transformers in the future from you think?
I don't know. I think they have whole stable of artists working on Transformer right now. So I don't know. I mean, for a while I couldn't take on a full-time like monthly comics because I was working with Skybound at the time, and plus my time was kids. They're at home. It's hard to find time to work on anything at all, really. So if they come to me with a one shot or like a I don't know, something with long deadline, then I could probably do it, but I will not be able to meet monthly deadline like I used to.
But maybe a cover or something?
A what?
A cover or something, maybe?
Yeah, cover. Yeah, I'm always open to covers.
That's nice.
Yes. Now we will try to do a little thing we do every episode. We will spin a wheel to make sure what we will talk about next episode.
Spin the wheel, Jack.
Yes, spin the wheel, Jack. So I will just share my screen and we will draw the next subject before the next question.
Yeah.
Can you see it, Linda?
Nope. Yes, now.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Oh. I hope for a Cyberverse.
Yeah.
This is also in Swedish, so we're sorry.
But I will draw and let's see what we're landing.
Yeah. Wow, it's really laggy. Nemesis ship.
So next episode will be about the Nemesis ship, the Decepticon starship.
That's interesting.
Yes.
That's cool.
Have you ever drawn the Nemesis ship, by the way?
No, I have not.
Okay, yeah.
Usually we ask Linda here to do a quote from something related to the episode. Do you have a quote, EJ, from the Transformers universe?
That's an easy one. One shall stand, one shall fall.
Yes. Beautiful. I love that iconic one. Yeah.
That's really nice.
Very nice.
That's all we have for today. It was really nice to having you with us, EJ.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me.
And
I hope I didn't bore you to death.
No, it was really interesting.
It's really nice.
Yeah. Any finishing thoughts before we end?
Any wise words for the community out there?
Well, all I can say is keep reading comics.
Yeah.
Yeah, we gotta keep this media going. It's the industry is not doing so well, so everybody read some comics.
Yeah. Support your local comic book store.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
But then I will say, till all are one.
May your luster never dull and your wires never cross.
Glöm aldrig det. I will end the recording.
Yeah.